Claire! Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Awesome. I know I'm like, Anthony Dominowski is on here. Anthony!
This is funny.
All right, Claire, can you see our PowerPoint?
Yeah, this is really fancy.
This is fantastic, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I think we found our platform. Hey, Georgia.
Mine's not joining.
Is that Georgia?
Yeah.
No,
look.
it's
Hey, Georgia.
Oh, hey. Mine's
Hey!
Mine's trying to connect on the.
All right, just got control. Yep, you take control.
Oh no, I did something wrong.
No, you work on this.
Over.
How you know that's you?
Sweet. Okay.
Are you talking?
Oh no. I'm not gonna use my.
Okay, bye. Oh, that's because we're in here together. Over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is fun.
I don't need to see everybody, but Georgia, can you guys see the PowerPoint?
Uh-huh.
Awesome, brilliant. All right. I'm pretty sure Josh is not going to be here, but
Oh my God.
first and foremost, Claire, how are you doing?
I'm dying. My parents have been gone for a month and it's the struggle, but it's okay. They come back on Saturday.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How's work?
Work is okay. I work every day. I just got back from work, actually. So, okay, wait, I can't see the PowerPoint anymore. It's gone.
Oh, really?
You gotta swipe to the left.
The left.
Oh wait. Are you using your computer?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know then.
Oh, shit.
I'm using my phone. I'm a liar. Don't listen.
Anthony and I are in the same office, and so we're getting feedback from each other.
Oh, get out of here. Okay. Can you see the PowerPoint at all, Claire, or no?
Oh, wait. Okay, I see it now. Got
see
it.
All right, so I mean, yeah, I think we're gonna have to play with the platform a bit, but I do think in comparison to Skype that we used the last time, that this is gonna be an awesome platform for us to use, especially when we're looking at members who can't make meetings. And I think it wouldn't be out of the question as well for us to consider doing a virtual meeting every now and then to keep people connected. So me, what this is gonna say is, if students want to be a part of the club, they're going to connect with us because we have a virtual option. Janice, you can talk a little bit more about it if you want to or not.
Okay, yeah. Zoom has a lot of good features. We only have a max of 45 minutes with the free subscription. If we want to spend $100 a year, that'll give us an hour or more, and we can have more people. But I think a max of 50 participants per Zoom is what we can have for me.
Oh, good.
No one wants to be sitting around for more than that.
Right. Yeah.
Anthony's distracting me.
Okay. All right. So we'll keep moving forward. Social media update. I just really quickly, I thought you guys have been doing an outstanding job with the posting. I think the strategy that we developed in the last meeting is working out really well. We've seen a bit more engagement from others who are connected to the social media account too. And that's what that's saying is that folks who are connected to that page wants constant posting. I like really all the posting. I thought that we're posting from sources that are reputable, which is really important, especially if we're posting health-related information. So I definitely think we should keep that up. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts, positive, negatives.
There were some issues with Snapchat, and that's because we don't really have any friends. But when the semester starts, we can actually start.
Sorry.
Or use Facebook Live instead. I mean,
I think Facebook and Twitter are like the main.
Claire, anything from social media?
I like how everyone, like, I like the schedule, how we all did like a week at a time. Did we plan any further, like past June? Like, or are we just going to go through the same cycle of like the order? You know what I mean?
It's in the same order. I got mixed up on the order. I don't know where I was. I thought I was after someone else, but
Yeah.
make a new schedule if you guys want, or we could keep the same order and just do the rotation. And I guess
I think we should do a rotation. I like that.
Yeah.
And I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. I don't know. I like our Instagram. I wanted to, since I have like the list of the new members we are going to add on OrgSync, since it's their first and their last name, I was like trying to follow some of the people that were on there. But only a few of them followed back. But maybe once it's like closer to the school year, they'll realize like that it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I think that'll come. Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, okay. Want to talk about you? Go ahead. You can talk about
Okay,
this.
so I put a couple of dates up on OrgSync. Here's just like a quick scope of some of our events that we sort of agreed to do. What did you guys think about the dates? Did you guys get a look at it?
I just looked at the alcohol awareness one first and fresh check day. I didn't see the other stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, Halloween safety.
Yeah, they should all. If you click on events in OrgSync, you'll be able to see.
See the
So Izzy and I were talking. We were trying to plan the entire year, so we can already build our schedules up with classes and everything. Last year, it was really tough with the dates for both of the meetings, exec meetings. Just we were always scurrying around.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much for the whole fall semester, and we can even start spring semester, once we get rolling in the fall.
Right.
So these were some of the dates. If you didn't look at it, definitely just look at it. And if there's like dates that are really conflicting, just let someone know.
Yeah, because we have so much time in advance to.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for making this schedule. This like saved my life.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
of course, we're in the office on a regular basis. So of course, I think it's a perfect opportunity for us to try to get ahead as much as we can. One reason is because one, we want to have an established schedule, but as well, we have this FRUVed grant, and of course, we're still at the beginning stages of it, but we will have to factor that into what we're doing as well. So these are some traditional programs that we would typically participate and collaborate and facilitate on campus, but we'll also have the FRUVE grant where we're going to be looking at their surveys, those audits, and in addition, those programs over the course of the entire academic year. So we'll be putting those dates in as well. Once we have that meeting in July, we'll know, and it's more or less a training for the FRUVE grant. Once we have a clearer picture of what that looks like, we'll start putting those dates on.
I actually have that on one of the slides, so
There you go.
in the
Okay,
future. And in addition to these dates, our proposed meeting dates, Tuesday at 6, is that okay for you guys?
Like meetings for next semester.
Now these are dates for the actual meetings with members, not our exec meetings.
Not our exec meetings.
I scheduled, you can always look at the dates on OrgSync, but September 26th, 24th, 14th, and the 5th, they're all Tuesdays at 6, because 7th's kind of late, and I think that really affected.
Yeah, that's perfect because I made my own like list of times that I can have meetings, and I can really do Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday because every other day I have a night class, so Tuesday would be perfect.
That you're set up for school?
Yeah, like she said, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday would be good because I just have lab on Wednesdays. So
Yeah, me too.
And and Josh said it was okay too. He's not here today, but he did say that was okay.
Right.
And then in addition to those, there's also 2 interest meetings, and that you'll see on a different slide in September.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about this a little bit at length, but really what I wanted to do, and I think the best way for us to do this, because I would like to have another meeting in July, is for us to take some time between now and our next meeting to look at expectations, okay? And what I'm specifically thinking as you look at your role in the club as an exec member, what do you expect of yourself? One, what do you expect of your peers in their role? And then in addition, what do you expect from the advisor of the club? And then we'll discuss those for our next meeting. So don't get too much into the weeds, but think about the club and where you want it to go this year and beyond. And then, of course, work those expectations in there. So I also want you to think about when we talk about commitment to the club and things that we say that we're going to do during the academic year. I understand as students, things get really tough, but one of the things that I really like us to do collectively is to develop a stronger membership base, right? So as an advisor, saying that. And in addition, from a recruitment perspective, I'd like us to always be recruiting. So we're not just looking to barefoot. We're not just looking to those targeted events to do recruitment, but as we have conversations with students who exhibit that they're interested in those types of topics, the topics that we cover, and has a passion for promoting health and wellness, that we're saying, hey, come join our club.
Right, and if
Here
we
are the
do it
benefits.
directly instead of them finding out through, like, just by org sync, if they see us in person and we kind of befriend them, then they're more likely, I
To
feel,
join.
to be involved.
Yes. So expectations, so those are the things that you're going to hear from me. But so as you look at yourself and as you look at your peers, just start crafting some of those expectations. I don't expect you to have 25, 10, or whatever, but write down the ones that you believe are most relevant. That's going to help us move forward and become an impactful and I think a successful club on campus.
All right. Constitution amendments. We did talk about lowering GPA. I think, remember we raised it up, and then I heard
And then a lot of
complaints.
people were like,
Yeah.
Complained that it was too high. So that's one thing. Fee changes, I guess that has to do with the t-shirts.
Yeah.
Once that
Depending
comes
on what
in,
we get.
depending on what we get, we can charge for t-shirts. And then transitional roles. I'm leaving in spring. I know Abby's gonna be doing her internship too. So next fall semester, we really have to start looking at, I know, potential people that might come and take over. So that's something we have to eventually discuss.
But it's good to have these conversations now because from a recruitment perspective, we really know what's going to happen, right? It's, at the end of the day, we can look for students or members who we believe would serve well in those roles and really try to get them connected with the club and, so that we can have a smooth transition rather than we get to spring and, we don't have Janice or Abby and then we're like, oh gosh, we need to get somebody to fill this role. So that's something, just food for thought, something for us to think
right
about.
now we're already starting to fill the social media role.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Yep. All right. So I put this on here because this is something that I penciled in on my calendar and changed it many times. But Aaron, me and Josh, we'll have to schedule a time to go to Wells Fargo, get your name on the accounts, get some cards because we need to get that squared away before August 1st. Because we will be getting the check from University of Tennessee for the food grant they said we're supposed to receive it by August 1st. So I don't know if it might be a few days before or after that, but just make sure that we have that stuff squared away. And then in addition, get you guys connected with the bank so that you have everything set to go. So we're looking to purchase the fruit and vegetable suits.
Yes.
Yeah, we're looking to purchase those things. Yeah, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But we just want to make sure that we've done everything that we need to do from a logistical perspective so that we're not running into issues. Typically, at me as the advisor, I'll have a card. You would have a card. And Josh would have a card, right? Okay.
All right, Ainsley touched on this a little bit, the fall recruitment and recognition. So get a clue, coming up August 30th, we have to be on the grind basically on that day, literally going out, meeting every club. I'll try to print some business cards for us with, some of our Facebook links and all that so we can pass it out. But as you mentioned, networking is like most important for this semester because we really need to grow the club. And then Ainsley and I also talked about using the Healthy Pirate Huts.
If that's okay with Georgia.
Like on afternoons.
No. Yes, please use them.
Using it to fundraise, to raise awareness about certain causes, or like we have Smoke-Free Week, Cancer Weeks. And we can just be out there pitching our events too. So if there's time and schedule, especially if you're going to be working within wellness or inside CRC, you can just step off for a day, maybe just do an hour, counts as a volunteer hour. Our members could even participate to just be more visible on campus so they can see that we're really out there, we're really trying to engage the student community. And they'll make them want to join. So
What
just
exactly?
have that even
And if
every
we look
once
like
a
we're having
month.
fun, they
Or
will like that.
yeah, absolutely.
What were you saying, Claire?
What exactly is Get a Clue? I'm not sure what that is.
Do you remember Barefoot and this
Yeah.
where you were out there working your tail off?
Yes, I remember.
Okay, so Get a Clue is basically a similar event, but specifically focuses on getting students connected to clubs and organizations on campus.
Okay.
So we had discussed at one point, I think in our last meeting, the point was brought up: should we engage students at the orientation sessions? Yeah,
Yeah.
remember that? And we nixed
Yeah.
that idea because I said that I felt like parents are walking around with them. They're telling
Very
them what
true.
to sign up for. And yeah, we might end up having 25 students who sign up, but how many of those realistically? Yeah, we may get some, but how many of those realistically would be actually interested in the club and
Mhm.
are going to choose to join us for the long term? For me, I would rather ramp it up and Get a Clue in addition to some additional events and really get students who are going to self-select and come up to us and say, what is this club about? What do you guys do? What are your thoughts there, Claire?
I like that because you're right about orientation, because I remember from experience my mom was like, sign up for this, sign up for that. And I
Yeah,
wasn't really interested, and I found out about Healthy Parents in a different way, and I chose to stick with it because it was something that I was interested in. So
yeah.
I think, I don't know, we got a lot of people to sign up at Barefoot. So if this is similar to that event, then I think it'll be really successful.
Yeah. And as we go forward and we look at recruitment perspective, we certainly ought to think about how do students want information? What specifically are they looking for? What benefits what benefits do we have that we know, they would like to enjoy at the end of the day? And I think that's going to be really important.
And then the interest meetings I mentioned, September 5th and 7th, that's not part of our regular member meetings. That's just us going out. We could do one here and then maybe one at a different location,
Yeah, selling
like
them.
East or something else, because not everybody will come to CRC for an interest meeting. And then Abby and I are over at Belk. We could probably just hold a small meeting too and get some of those public health students. So if you guys have any ideas for the second location, just
Yeah.
please, let
HSC,
yes,
maybe.
it's just
Yeah,
just me.
Yeah.
Oh, and that new design.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Why not? Yeah. Yeah.
So we have options. And then, of course, end of semester celebration that Ainsley did bring up, how important it is to really celebrate all the work that we're doing
Yeah.
at the end of the semester.
Yeah, and this was even more evident this past spring. So we get to the spring, we have these events, especially this year we had the blood drive and then we had Earth Day, and it was kind of all together. And we're, gosh, we want to take a deep breath because we have done a decent amount of outreach to the campus community, but we haven't really celebrated those. And I do think that even in the fall, we can have something that's proper, small, informal, where we can get our members together, our active members, and say, look, we really here's what we accomplished this semester. That's important because at the beginning, we want to set some goals and objectives, and then we want to see if we achieve them. And I think I think that students who want to join an organization want to see that there's an organization that's organized and have goals and objectives that they're going after, and then they're willing to measure those as well. So certainly we ought to be celebrating those things. And graduation cords are a part of that. I think is something that that you guys expressed that you wanted in our spring meeting. So I think
And I was like, yes.
yeah, I definitely think it's something that we need to pursue. And I think you can purchase cords. So we have to think about what color we want to purchase, what would those look like, and you all need to make those decisions. But
I've used core websites in the past.
okay,
Oh,
so
great.
is that
There you
something?
go.
Do you want to take that on, Hannah? To bring some.
T-shirts and cords.
Okay, so
Awesome.
Anna's gonna bring some options.
Great.
All right.
Good to know.
All right. Group bed.
All right. So we had our second call. Our second call was more or less focused on sort of the IRB process. Janice and I are doing the city training. I highly recommend that you guys do that training as well. We can send you the website. Unfortunately, it takes a decent amount of time. And the reason why we need you all to do this is because at the end of the day, we will need specifically so we have, I think, 4 surveys that we need to do. And then we also have 4 audits that we'll need to complete in addition to some, 2 or 3 town hall meetings over the course of the academic year.
I don't pass it that much to
So
know.
with these surveys and the audits, anyone who is kind of taking the lead for any of those needs to have that training. But here's the thing, not only in the short term do you need to have this training for this project, but also in the long term, if you end up for a thesis or something like that, you're doing any kind of research, you already have this training. So really, it's kind of in our best
It
interest.
lasts 5 years.
Yeah, it lasts 5 years.
This is like,
And it's online.
it's great. It's great. You're gonna probably have to do it anyways.
Yeah.
For one of the classes. It's
It's
free.
free. It's free. So we'll send the link out to you. So that's something that we got to start working on now, because basically, I think our first due date is November 1st for some of the surveys. And then I think the audits are December 2nd.
It's a
And
next
then we
slide.
have to do it. So either way, a really good call. We have another call in July, which will be more of a training. So once that information comes out, we'll let you guys know. So hopefully, Claire, you can be available. I know you're working.
Yeah.
And then hopefully you guys can be available for that as well. But the more of this stuff that we can get done now, the more impactful it's going to be, because the semester is going to get here and we're going to have to be running. Basically, we're going to be we'll need to be on the ground. The great thing is that we have Dr. Das, Viva Das, who's kinesiology, is a highly respected and very experienced researcher. So she will probably be our right-hand person to go to for questions and how to get things done. We have some professors in public health who Julius has met with, who are going to be more or less sending students our way. So I think we'll have help for this. We've reached out to some other clubs, SDA, Student Dietetic Association. I haven't heard anything back from them yet. PEP,
Eta Sigma
potentially,
Gamma, they're
Eta
all
Sigma Gamma.
interested and they all want to help out.
Right.
So we have to do the work.
Yeah,
It's a
but I
organized.
do think from an exec board perspective, we need to all have the training, so that and have done the CTI training and then also this additional training to ensure that we can answer questions and we can get this thing done the way that it ought to be done. So when we get the data back, it will be valid and we can use that to make some decisions.
You can say this.
So we put WLLC on there because they're a great resource to us. We research. Yeah, look at Claire laughing. Yeah, you guys will be a resource to us. But then, as well as I mentioned, we've looked up those costumes. We'll talk about that next meeting because that's not a big question.
And then I just put those, during the conference they mentioned environmental assessment training and peer mentoring is also available to us once we're, in the fruit vet community. So I thought that were just really some cool highlights, but we're still learning about those.
Yeah.
I don't have any details, but just to know that we can get other.
And mind you, from what I understand, we're about one of 92 college and university participating in this, which I think is really neat. It's not just 05 or 10. To be 92 shows that those campuses see that there's a really great opportunity for them and that there's a need to get this data back to help make some decisions, make the campus community better.
And here's just a timeline that I made so you guys can kind of just get an idea of how crazy it's going to be this fall. September 20th, we have our meeting with our health org leaders. Then November 1st, surveys. Again, another meeting, a town hall meeting. So pretty much you can, and this will be posted on OrgSync, so you can just save it to your desktop if you want, or just save it somewhere. But it's going to be pretty busy. And then, it's pretty much going to go on through the whole year. May 10th, we have our focus groups. So this is a year long.
And for you guys as students, especially undergrad students, look at the experience that you're going to walk away with. Now, I'm talking about outside of the classroom. And for me, that's what gets me excited about this, is that if we do the work, you're going to walk away with a significant amount of experience from a public health perspective, from a nutrition perspective, from a physical activity perspective. You will have done a project on campus with real people outside of the classroom where you're working with other universities in the United States, USDA. I think that's really, really, really awesome to have that opportunity.
Definitely. right, fall event planning. So one thing, we've already started planning over in wellness for Fast Check Day, alcohol awareness. Ainsley brought up some information too, and a Peace Love Pirates Cure as well.
Yeah,
But
October 5th, yeah.
we definitely wanted to maybe divide some of these events in committees so our members each get to participate in, and also that everyone gets an opportunity to lead an event.
Yeah.
So that gives everybody in the executive team, and it helps like alleviate some of the stress,
Pressure,
right?
yeah.
Knowing that, all right, that's, Claire or
Right.
Anna's got that event, so I'm going to participate, I'm going to help out, but you don't have to necessarily manage it. So when we distribute all the tasks, and that's why I don't know if you guys saw in the email, but I asked if you're interested in anything specific, just please, shout it from the rooftops if you really want to lead.
Fresh Check or Peace
Fresh
Love,
Check.
alcohol awareness, which we'll be working with Jay from the Counseling Center specifically for that. Willie actually said, Georgia and I, and we haven't engaged with him yet, I think a speaker, a woman who lost her son. And I think that could be a really powerful event if we feel like it's appropriate for a population. So there will be a lot of opportunities to take the lead. So, if you're nervous, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just know that you have resources, and I don't want you to shy away from taking leadership over one of these events. Not that you're going to have to do anything, but you're going to take the lead on some aspects, because I think that's going to help in your growth and your development as well. So just know that I'm going to be, as the advisor, going to be challenging you there, that when you see opportunities, don't shy away from them. Take them on, and know that you have the resources in myself and our CRW staff, Claire and Lydia as an instructor for WLLC, that you're going to find success at the end of the day, because you have those resources where you can go from.
Yeah, definitely look at the schedule, see what works out for you. And then I can also send out a poll out once we have our actual, first member meeting, to see where our members would like to join. Instead of getting them to sign something, I'll just do like a Google poll, and then we can sign up there, and it'll have like who's in charge of what meeting. Just keep it organized and all online.
So one thing before we kind of go to questions is that we've been having Georgia, myself, and a few other colleagues from counseling and student health have been having several conversations, or we've had about 3 meetings up until this point about and I mentioned this at our last meeting, about an umbrella peer health group on campus. So what that would look like is there has been some conversation about the fact that all the groups would be called Healthy Pirates. So we would do some sort of a training together, more or less in the spring, to have all of the groups together to kind of do some training. But we would look to bring in Student Dietetic Association, Eta Sigma Gamma, PEP, Bedsiders. I don't know if there are anything.
I think LGBTQ.
Okay, but essentially, this is an initiative that's being supported by Dr. Hardy. Dr. Hardy is what is her title, Georgia?
Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs.
Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. So it's coming from the top. So from our last meeting, what they wanted me to throw out to you guys is this. How do you feel about that? Do you feel as if this would encroach on the Healthy Pirates type of thing? Because what they're looking at is that those groups will still focus on the issues that they do. We would still focus on the issues that we focus on, but we would just all be kind of getting trained together on certain topics.
So if we get people from like SDA or wherever, they would still be SDA, but also considered Healthy Pirates. So we would just be Healthy Pirates.
Well, ultimately, what it's looking like, so in an umbrella group, basically, all those groups will be considered Healthy Pirates, right? Because that Healthy Pirate name kind of reflects ECU.
Everyone who has
the other option is that they could look at something different, like a different name for all of us. So I'm putting this out on the table to kind of hear your guys' thoughts, what your thoughts are on it. How do you feel about it?
I like the idea. I'm just still kind of confused about how it works. I don't know. Would everyone come to Healthy Pirates meetings, or would we just train together for like?
So we would train together. We would collaborate on some things together. So for instance, Fresh Check Day would be a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Peace Love Pirates Cure, more or less, would be a collaborative effort. If we're looking at sexual assault and Pledge Purple Week, that would be a collaborative effort. But then these groups would go out and SDA would still focus on nutritional initiatives, right? PEP would still focus on, we
10-minute
10 minute, we have 10-minute warning. But those groups would still maintain their identity. They would still focus on those topic areas that they are passionate about and want to sort of engage, but there would be some identifiable specific signature events that we would collaborate on. Now, Claire, I think we're all still kind of trying to figure out how this is going to look. So don't feel bad for being confused. I think we're just at the beginning stages where we're having this conversation to kind of see what all of that is going to look like.
And I can add to that. I hear feedback. Do you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. So we would be considered like the CRW Healthy Pirates or Wellness Healthy Pirates because we have more of a general sense of topic areas that we cover.
Right.
As Ainsley was saying, SDA is strictly nutrition. LGBT office would be social justice as it pertains to LGBT, that type of thing. So for us, we would still be Healthy Pirates, but we would have to figure out an additional identity to that. So is that wellness? Is it CRW? What does that look like? Because we're a little bit more general,
Right.
where most of the other groups are going to be very topic specific.
Yes.
Okay. That helps.
I think that's a great idea. I think it would really put our name out more than even just like recruiting people for volunteers.
Yeah.
Because even like when every group needs to get some kind of money from SGA,
Yes.
if we all pitch in, then it would be perfect for an event, and everyone gets their own part in the event, whether it be nutrition or, whatever they're coming from, mental health. Then everyone has their expertise that they contribute to the event, and then we kind of coordinate it in a way.
And you know what? This is why I really appreciate having you guys as an executive team, because you're willing to look at this opportunity with an open mind without me prompting you to do so. Here's the other benefit. This is an initiative that's coming from the highest level. And so in a sense, there will be opportunities, leadership opportunities, development opportunities for our students. So for instance, we talk about going to conferences. There'll be opportunities to go to conferences. There'll be opportunities to plug into NASPA and Bacchus at a national level to really collaborate with other students who are doing some great things on campuses as well, so that we can bring really strong ideas and a lot of input from the outside world to the campus community too. So for me, I think it's so awesome that we've been ramping up our efforts to really get our club out there, but also that from the assistant chancellor side, like she's thinking about that as well. And we have these groups on campus that we're all kind of doing some similar things. If we get together and do them collectively, then we're going to have a much larger impact. More people are going to hear our message, and we're going to be more visible to and more volunteers. Exactly. And to me, when I think about it long term, we start to create that culture that we want.
I think that's a great idea, because instead of just connecting with students as volunteers, we're connecting with the whole campus by connecting with other clubs.
Yeah. So one more thing, we are working on logos. We've had a couple of iterations back and forth. Are you gonna hold it up? Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say they just came off the printer, so I'm not good at that.
Yeah. So that one's okay, but the ones on the left, I think will be really cool if we could do some of these, and we can send them out to everybody. They've done a really great job at sort of, some of the iterations. We might have some challenges because the university is kind of going away from separate small entities having a logo per se, so any kind of pirate likeness. So we may have to surrender that pirate likeness. We may have to. But I'm going through the necessary channels, especially if we're talking about this umbrella group, to see if we can advocate for keeping that.
Mhm.
So just to kind of let you know where we are, we're still very much in the beginning stages. I, as an advisor, would love for us to keep that because, it would be different if we had some, not that I wouldn't be open to it, but I think there are still some conversations for us to have before we said that, that the logo is dead and buried. But we're really excited about it. We're really excited about the designs. We still have a few tweaks that need to be made, but I think it's going in a positive direction. So without further ado, questions, thoughts, concerns?
I have something kind of random-ish. I wasn't able to make it to like the fruit call or whatever,
Yes.
but so I don't know the exact requirements, but I had like a few ideas about maybe like how we could use some of the money that I just came up with. I don't know. I thought if we had like a farmers market type thing with like fresh produce or something like that,
Yeah.
or if we had like a garden where we could provide stuff to the dining hall, or for students to just purchase like something like that,
Yeah.
maybe once a month. I don't know. That was an idea. And then at like the gym that I work at, we have like team group workouts, and I didn't know if we could like pay a trainer to have like some Healthy Pirate group fitness, like maybe like every Friday morning for Fitness Friday, or
Yeah.
I don't know, just random stuff that I came up with.
Yeah, Claire, I think all of those are fantastic ideas, and I would suggest that you keep them and
Okay.
flesh out the details even more. Think into them a little bit more. We, on our last call, we asked specifically for, so whenever you get money from the government, they usually give you some parameters. You can spend money on this, 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 and this, and this, right? We don't know that yet. In fact, they're still defining what those guidelines are. That was, we all, for the most part on the call, requested that in the last meeting. So I suspect that we'll get that in July, and it'll specifically tell us what, but that doesn't mean that we wouldn't be able to pursue some of those ideas that you have in a collaborative effort. So I think those ideas are valid. They have loads of ideas as well in the toolkit. So I would suggest that you hold on to them and flesh out the details a little bit more, as into what would it look like? How would we get it done? Who do we need to partner with to get this done? And then start moving it forward. Those are your ideas. So we can all capitalize on them, I believe. Anybody else? What are your thoughts on
I think
this?
the garden would be awesome.
Yeah.
And there's a greenhouse outside of Howell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can see if we can get a space in there.
Yeah.
Even if it's grow like our little
Yeah.
shrubs that we got for Earth
That we got for Earth
Just
Day.
keep them stacked in there, ready to go for our
Because that
huts,
would be a
because
great
we can sell
contribution,
the
like I
huts.
said, to like the dining halls.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Because you were thinking about like, how we could incorporate this group into the dining halls without upsetting what they already have going on. in
Yeah.
there. They would appreciate.
Yeah. And I did meet with Skip, who's from Dining Services, and Jean, who's from Student Health. And Jean's really excited. She was actually on the call. She's really excited about it. Skip was going to go back and talk to his supervisor to see if we, as we move forward and we do those surveys, that it's being done in a collaborative sort of spirit versus our students showing up, doing these surveys. They don't really know what these surveys are, in that kind of vein. So we're really moving forward and looking at it as more of a collaborative effort versus the university against Sodexo or Airmark or whatever. So yeah, I think there are great opportunities there. So we have about 1 minute and 10 or 1 minute, 18 seconds left. Does anyone else have any thoughts, questions, shout outs?
Until our next meeting.
Yeah, so we'll send out something about our next meeting. But what do you guys think about the platform, the Zoom platform?
I like it. It's really cool.
Time limit, and it's really
Yeah.
pretty to look at on this huge TV.
Well, yeah, the pretty look at was all Janice. But,
Oh.
all right, well, awesome. Well, thank you everyone for attending. Claire, it's always lovely to see you. Hang in there. Your parents will be back soon. Anthony and Georgia give you a big shout out from upstairs. But yeah, really excited about this year, and can't wait to kind of get some of these things on paper and up and running. Okay.
Proud of y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Bingo.
Good
Oh.
one.
We did it. We did
Vivian.
it. I do my Vivian face. All right. We'll see you guys in a little bit.